Minister of Finance.
Honourable Speaker, Honourable Speaker, I move that this House, at its next sitting, resolve itself for this session into a committee to consider the supply to be granted to His Majesty.
You have heard the question. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Minister.
Honourable Speaker, I have the honour to present a message from Her Honour, the Lieutenant Governor.
Her Honour, the Lieutenant Governor presents the estimate fiscal, what I'm reading? This one? Thank you. No. The estimate fiscal year ending March 31st, 2026 and supplement to the estimate fiscal year ending March 31st, 2026 and recommend the same to the Legislative Assembly. Minister.
Honourable Speaker, I move that the said message and the estimates accompanying the same be referred to the Committee of Supply.
Members, you heard the question. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Minister.
Honourable Speaker, I move, seconded by the Honourable Premier of British Columbia, that the Speaker do now leave the chair for the House to go into the Committee of Supply.
Continue, Minister.
I would like to begin by acknowledging the Lekwungen peoples, the Songhees and Esquimalt First Nations, upon whose territories we are gathered. It is an honour to present Budget 2024. Mr. Speaker, we are introducing this budget during the most consequential time in BC in generations, a time that few of us could have imagined just a few short months ago. These unjustified tariffs could put tens of thousands of British Columbians out of work, significantly impact our province's finances, and cause economic harm to people and businesses on both sides of the border. While our economy is built to withstand this threat better than most provinces, the impact may still be severe. Budget 2025 is about standing strong for British Columbia and making sure public services are there when we need them. Now is the time to focus on what really matters to our communities and the people of our province. It is time to protect the essentials and prepare for what comes next. Mr. Speaker, no matter what challenges we're facing, one thing will always remain true. We will never back down from our commitment to the people of British Columbia. We are blessed to live in a place surrounded by natural beauty, with everything we need to succeed: abundant natural resources and clean energy, a diversified and inclusive economy with access to global markets, and our most important asset of all, the skilled, hard-working people who call this beautiful place home. Like everyone here today, I love this province, its people, and its places. Growing up in Nanaimo, I saw the resilience of resource workers, like my dad, who was a heavy-duty mechanic in the forestry industry at a time of economics ups and downs. Like my small business person mum, running an independent book publisher. I saw my parents, who came home tired but proud of their day's work, and I know what it means for a community to live through economic booms and busts. As a young woman, I went off to university to study in Montreal, but ultimately there was nowhere I could imagine raising my family rather than right here in British Columbia. In an early job as a child protection social worker, I saw firsthand what families need to thrive and stay strong together, and the devastating impacts that can occur without that support. As a CEO in the tech sector, I've seen the entrepreneurial spirit that runs through our province. Working in business, I had the opportunity to travel the world and see how Made in BC innovations made a mark on the world stage. I saw the reputation that British Columbians have around the world as smart, thoughtful leaders who are caring but strong. Strength, tenacity, compassion, and vision, kind but tough. These are the values of British Columbia, and these are the values that have informed this budget. We will be prepared for whatever comes next. Budget 2025 includes $4 billion in annual contingencies to prepare for the future, including the initial impact of tariffs. We will manage our finances carefully so we continue to work to improve healthcare, education, and other core services without adding fees or hiking costs. And we will support the businesses that create the jobs and economic activity that we need to deliver those services. Mr. Speaker, as someone who has worked in both the public and private sectors, I know how economic headwinds can affect people and communities, and we must take care of the economy so we can take care of people. We're supporting workers, businesses, and industry. We're accelerating major job-creating projects. We're diversifying where we sell our products and our resources, and we're growing a more diversified economy. We're doing it all in partnership with First Nations, business, industry, and labor. Unjustified duties threaten our forestry communities, and our BC Softwood Lumber Advisory Council is working across sectors to fight for BC industries. This includes our work with our new Trade and Economic Security Task Force, which is informing our tariff response and helping us strengthen our economy. With the evolving threats that we're facing due to this attack on our economy, it's important that we take a closer look at our spending. We are reviewing all government programs and spending to ensure that every dollar is delivering results for British Columbians, while at the same time prioritizing Canadian, BC, and other countries' products and services for everything that government buys. We have already put a temporary pause in hiring on the government's public service to reduce administrative costs. The public service is full of talented, committed, and thoughtful people, and I know that they'll work creatively to come up with new and innovative ways of doing things. I come from the private sector where it's a normal course of business to have periodic reviews of spending and to ensure that every dollar is being well spent. And that's what we're doing. And that is what British Columbians expect of us. Budget 2025 recognizes the importance of balancing the budget over the long term, but never at the expense of the services that people rely on every day. This is not about doing less. It's about making the right choices to not only meet the moment, but to seize it. Mr. Speaker, we've heard from the task force and other people in the business community that we can do more to help BC companies and workers succeed. Through our BC Manufacturing Jobs Fund, we're helping businesses modernize, innovate, and grow, while also protecting and creating jobs, particularly in the communities most affected by boom and bust cycles. Through our Future Ready Action Plan, we're helping people get the skills that they need to build rewarding careers and drive our economy forward. And through our Integrated Marketplace Initiative, we're connecting promising BC tech companies with industry-leading partners to prove out their products and their services in real-world environments. Budget 2025 continues this good work with a $30 million boost to this program. British Columbia is home to some of the top tech companies and most promising startups in the world. And this innovation helps commercial clients get new technologies tailored to their needs while also helping tech companies scale up, expand into new markets, and create more high-quality jobs and opportunities here at home. The best part? The technologies are focused on addressing key challenges in our province and around the world, including healthcare, climate change, and resource management. This benefits us all. Success stories are already stacking up. I think of Coquitlam-based Moment Energy, which developed a new battery energy storage system. The integrated marketplace initiative connected Moment Energy with the Vancouver International Airport to provide reliable, high-speed charging capacity for airport vehicles. The company has since gone on to land major customers and earn a spot on the prestigious Global Clean Tech 100 list. Budget 2025 also supports our thriving film sector and our vibrant video game and virtual reality industries with boosted tax credits. This will encourage investment in our province, protect good jobs, and help us maintain our reputation as one of the top film and creative industry destinations in the world. I don't know if you remember how exciting it was the first time you recognized Vancouver or Langley or the interior as a backdrop to your favorite movie or series. I do. A video game I love, The Last of Us, became a TV series that was filmed in my hometown industry sector. Mr. Speaker, we haven't taken a wait-and-see approach to the threat of tariffs. We got to work right away. We're already accelerating 18 natural resource projects worth $20 billion in economic activity and more than 8,000 jobs while looking for more projects to expedite. This builds on work we've already done to reduce mining permitting timelines by 37% and reduce or eliminate permitting backlogs across the economy. While we work to expedite these projects, we will not lose sight of our commitment to working in partnership with First Nations and advancing our climate objectives. In fact, 12 of the 18 priority projects are majority First Nations owned, and half of them are clean energy projects. We will continue to meet our high environmental standards while breaking down barriers to growth. This will help us generate a stable supply of affordable clean energy to power our economic growth while protecting our land, our air, and our water for future generations. Mr. Speaker, it is clear that we have what the world needs: cutting-edge technological innovations, critical minerals needed for the clean energy future, and some of the lowest carbon products on the planet. There's a huge appetite for BC goods and services around the country and around the world. And we have more than 50 trade and investment representatives in 14 international markets ready to help businesses expand. I know firsthand the value of these local market experts. When I owned a video game company, I was looking for an international partner to break into the Japanese market. I was struggling to make the necessary local connections until our trade and investment representatives opened those doors for me. BC is also leading the way in breaking down interprovincial trade barriers. Last year, we swiftly ended a trade dispute by signing a deal to allow BC wineries to ship directly to Albertans. Mr. Speaker, as we further diversify our economy, we need to ensure that our products can get to new markets efficiently. And with our proximity to Asia, BC has some of the most unique shipping advantages in the world. And every day, more than $800 million worth of cargo moves through our world-class ports. We need to support our robust trade with growing markets with updated, reliable infrastructure. And this is why Budget 2025 includes $16 billion over the fiscal plan to build and improve bridges, roads, and transit to make it easier and faster for people to get to work and home, while also strengthening our supply chains to ensure that we can keep goods moving quickly. Mr. Speaker, a growing economy is not only about creating good jobs. It also creates the wealth that we need to improve vital services, especially healthcare. Here in BC, communities are growing, people are getting older, and many doctors and nurses are retiring. Our government is confronting these challenges head-on. We've added more family doctors and tripled the number of nurse practitioners. We've made it possible for people to get care from a pharmacist for minor illnesses, and we're getting more internationally trained medical professionals off of the sidelines and into our hospitals caring for patients. We'll be training the next generation of family doctors at an upcoming medical school at SFU's Surrey campus. Budget 2025 builds on this work with an additional $4.2 billion over 3 years to continue growing capacity across our healthcare system. As part of our ongoing plan to improve home and community care for seniors, we are boosting funding by more than $100 million this year. This will make it possible for more seniors to live healthy, independent lives right at home. We're also building on our historic $1 billion investment in mental health and addictions care with an additional $500 million over the fiscal plan. And this will help us continue supporting made-in-BC models of care like Road to Recovery and Foundry Centres for Youth and Indigenous-led treatment, recovery, and aftercare services. It will also allow us to advance our work to support people with concurrent mental health and addictions challenges, including through secure and dignified care. Budget 2025 also includes $15.5 billion over the fiscal plan to continue to build the hospitals, clinics, and other facilities we need to strengthen our healthcare system. Publicly funded and universally accessible quality care is part of who we are as Canadians. And Mr. Speaker, let me be very clear about this. We will never be the 51st state, and we will never be and we are never going to be a place where people have to pull out their credit card to pay for health care. Mr. Speaker, the foundation for a healthy life starts in childhood. Our government knows that investing in students is essential to building a strong province and a strong economy for today and tomorrow. And that means supporting the caring and committed teachers and the staff who go above and beyond for their students every day. Budget 2025 invests an additional $370 million over 3 years to hire more teachers and support staff in our schools. This includes special education teachers, as well as teacher psychologists and counselors to support the growing number of students with special needs. But we know that kids need support beyond the classroom too. And that's why Budget 2025 provides an additional $172 million over the fiscal plan to support more children and youth with autism, severe disabilities, and complex care needs. Mr. Speaker, like many families, our government is making careful budgeting decisions to get the most out of every dollar. Our capital plan includes $4.6 billion over the next 3 years to build, renovate, and seismically upgrade schools and playgrounds throughout our province. This includes additions that can be built twice as quickly as traditional projects at a fraction of the cost. In just the past 2 months, we've opened additions at 4 schools, adding more than 1,000 new student spaces in growing communities throughout BC. As a parent, I know that when you send your kids off to school, there's nothing more important than knowing that they're learning in a safe, supportive environment, a place where they'll be helped if they're struggling, fed if they're hungry, comforted if they're hurt. And now, more than ever, in a world that feels uncertain even to us as adults, we must ensure our kids always feel supported at school and give them the best start in life. Mr. Speaker, one of the biggest challenges facing British Columbians continues to be finding a decent home they can afford. It's a big challenge for employers too. If people can't afford to live here, companies can't attract the talent that they need to grow. Any recruiter will tell you we can't afford to lose out on the best and the brightest. And this is why our government is taking action with the province's most ambitious housing plan ever. We're speeding up the delivery of new homes. We're helping more people achieve the dream of home ownership. And we're protecting renters and helping those who need it most. And we're cracking down on speculation. Through Budget 2025, we're increasing the speculation and vacancy tax rate to turn more empty units into homes for people. Our efforts are starting to pay off. We have more than 90,000 homes delivered or underway throughout the province. Rental home construction starts have tripled over the past 7 years, and rental prices are starting to come down. With global cost escalations, we're facing tough new headwinds, but we can't afford to let up now. Budget 2025 builds on the success we're starting to see in our BC Builds program with an additional $318 million over 3 years. This will help build thousands of rental homes for middle-income people, such as nurses and teachers and construction workers. We know that people with lower incomes need support too. Budget 2025 provides a boost to the Rental Assistance Program and Shelter Aid for Elderly Rentals Program. For both programs, we're expanding access and increasing the monthly supplement. We expect these changes to double the number of families that benefit from rental assistance and help a total of 25,000 seniors pay their rent. On average, the monthly supplement for seniors will increase by 30%. Mr. Speaker, nowhere is the impact of the housing crisis more apparent or devastating than on our streets. Far too many people are living outside in encampments. Our government has been working with municipalities to help more people come indoors and access support services to get their lives back on track. Budget 2025 commits an additional $90 million to continue this important work so that no one's left behind. Mr. Speaker, housing is often the biggest expense for families, but certainly not the only one. And that's why our government has always prioritized helping people with the cost of living. We permanently increased the BC Family Benefit and made a historic investment in school food programs. We became the first province in Canada to make prescription contraception free, saving people up to $300 a year on birth control pills. And we took tolls off bridges and made transit free for children under 12. And we've driven down our public car insurance rates to less than half than our neighbor Alberta's for-profit rates. On top of that, we've delivered ICBC rebates for the past 4 years. And now in Budget 2025, it gives people a little bit more with a fifth rebate of $110. We are also maintaining the basic car insurance rates through to 2026, marking 6 years in a row with no increases to help keep rates affordable for British Columbians. Mr. Speaker, everyone deserves to live and work in a safe community. And that's why we're keeping repeat offenders off the street with more officers and stronger enforcement, and we're going after the gangs and the guns and the toxic drugs that are hurting our loved ones and communities. Budget 2025 dedicates $235 million over 3 years to continue improving community safety throughout the province. We are also continuing to invest in our Repeat Violent Offender Intervention Initiative and our Special Investigation and Targeted Enforcement Program. These programs bring together police, prosecutors, and probation officers to provide a coordinated response to repeat violent offenders. Mr. Speaker, small businesses are the anchor of our communities and the heart, but small businesses today are facing big challenges, including being hit with theft and vandalism far too often. Through Budget 2025, we are launching a new community safety and targeted enforcement program. This will help police crack down on shoplifting, robbery, and other property crimes by providing them with enhanced resources. We are also providing funding for the Police Academy at the Justice Institute of British Columbia to expand training and capacity and produce more police officers every year. Together, we're creating safer communities throughout the province. Mr. Speaker, in difficult times, our shared values can show us the way forward. Shared values like reconciliation with Indigenous peoples. This remains a foundational priority for our government. It's woven into everything we do. And we are continuing our nation-leading work to implement the Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples Act. We are partnering with First Nations on economic projects that create prosperity for all, and we are supporting social and cultural well-being. In Budget 2025, it advances this work with $45 million over 3 years in new stable funding for the First Peoples Cultural Council. This will help the organization continue supporting First Nations in their efforts to revitalize their languages and cultures while also creating good jobs and economic benefits. Mr. Speaker, language and culture make us stronger. I think of Kwatlau, the chair of the First Nations Cultural Council. She grew up hearing stories about her mother and her auntie whispering in Kwakwala at residential school to keep their language alive. Kwatlau is now studying 2 languages, and her 1-year-old grandnephew can already beat the drum and sing the songs of his Squamish ancestors. She says she does this work with Inchotmot Squalwen, which means one heart and mind in Squamish. This spirit of shared purpose is exactly what we need right now. It's with one heart and one mind that we will secure a brighter future for all. Mr. Speaker, that brighter future will be one of our own making. When faced with big challenges, there are those who might say we should retreat and respond by cutting spending on the public services that people rely on. But we know that this would only weaken the services we all need and drive up costs for people when they can least afford it. These challenging and uncertain times invite us to reflect on what matters most. Having a stable, secure job that pays the bills and allows you to save for a rainy day. Being healthy and able to get the health care you need when and where you need it so you can continue to enjoy your favorite activities. Having happy kids, nieces, and nephews who are learning and growing every day, and living in a safe community with great amenities where everyone feels at home. There is so much happening in the world right now that is beyond our control. But what is within our control is how we take care of people. How we make our communities safer, stronger, and healthier. How we build a world-class education system to prepare our kids for a fast-changing workforce, and how we build more resilient, diversified economy that works for everyone. These are the things that this budget commits to. We are going to get through this storm together. We will build a better BC no matter who occupies the White House, a province that is as kind and compassionate as we've always been, with an economy that's more resilient and more prosperous than ever before. Mr. Speaker, with the chaos and the confusion that is coming from south of the border, none of us knows with certainty what the future holds. But this we do know. We will meet the future together, and this government will support British Columbians every step of the way. Thank you.